Alright, welcome back to the channel. We're back in the world of Passive Exile 2, and as I told you guys in the previous video, I was going to show you guys my full-fledged in-depth leveling guide for my Mercenary. I'm leveling as a Gemling Legionnaire, but you can absolutely do this as a Witch Hunter. It's just going to require some minor changes, but as you can probably tell from the footage on screen, we're absolutely decimating all the content and decimating everything on screen, and that's the power of the Mercenary. This build, like our last one, is very similar. It just kind of branches off of that with a few additions to the grenades, but for the most part it's a very chill build. You press 2 or 3 keys, you blow up the screen, and you kill everything. It's a powerful build, and I know a lot of you want to see it, so let's dive on in. Alright, now that the intro is done, let's dive into the build. And very quickly before we dive in, just know I will have a full-fledged written guide down in the description, linked directly to Mobilytics. We are partnered with Mobilytics. The guide will be significantly more detailed than this video. It's going to have everything you need to like leveling, just progression, everything like that. It's going to be a very well detailed guide. Go check that out if you want a more detailed guide. Leave me a favorite if it helps you out or you like it. That helps me out quite a bit. But let's go over the skills. So from the previous video, you'll notice that there's some new additions on the skill bar. Not too many more, but there are some new skill gems and that we're going to be adding. And keep in mind, we are a Gemling Legionnaire. And so being a Gemling Legionnaire comes with a handful of perks. If you are another mercenary type Witch Hunter, you still can do this, but you will need to swap out a handful of different gems. I'll see if I can add it to the Mobilytics and kind of like play around with it. But for the most part, if you're playing as a Gemling Legionnaire like I am, as you can see here, you're going to have certain benefits that others can't, and that's just usually around the supports. So going over it, we're going to be still using Gas Grenade. I'm keeping it to 3 because this is going to be what you're going to use if you get 3. You can use lesser jeweler orbs if you don't know. This is the leveling guide, so I'll just show them. You can use these lesser jeweler orbs. This will give an additional link to your individual gems. So that's how you do it. You can buy them from the shop. Once you get to Act 1 in Cruel difficulty, you can trade it using a trade vendor. They're going for like 1 exalted orb or something, so it should be fairly easy. But yeah, that's how you would get it. Anyway. So first things first, we're going to be using Gas Grenade and continuing to use so. Gas Grenade is going to be supported with Magnified Effect. We're going to get Corrosion to break armor, and then we're going to get Scatter Shot. The reason for this is pretty simple. We want as much coverage as possible. We want to break armor with this. There's some other upcoming synergies that we're going to use, like Armor Explosion, that's going to be fire-based. This is a very fire-focused build. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But as you can probably tell when I shoot the Gas Grenade... Oh, wrong grenade. Gas Grenade is going to cover the whole entire area, and that's really nice because what we're planning to do is just detonate it, as you can see here, and it just blows up the entire room. In addition, we're going to be using Explosive Grenade. If you use my previous build, these two things, all this here is all things you already had, right? This is we're gonna put fast forward on this. This is just gonna make it so that it takes less time to explode, so it comes out faster because it's a little bit of a pain to do. We're going to use Scatter Shot here, so both of these will be supported by Scatter Shot. You don't necessarily need Scatter Shot for this, but in my opinion, I feel like Scatter Shot's more important on Explosive Grenade. If you're having problems with coverage because you're not a Gemling Legionnaire, you can always get a crossbow like this one, a Barbage crossbow, and this one will fire an additional projectile to make it a little bit easier, and I can just show you an example of this. Hopefully that doesn't kill my stats. So you can see there I got another extra projectile. So this will help you if you don't have enough gems. But yeah, that's what I would do personally. You're hoarding crossbows. Anyway, continuing on for our... did I finish this? Yeah. We're going to fast forward, Scatter Shot, and then we're going to put Primal Armaments. This is going to give increased elemental damage. Herald of Ash is what we're going to be using. You're not going to be able to afford this until you get to Act 2 and defeat the witch person. Herald of Ash, we're going to be getting Vitality. You're going to be picking up Clarity from Mana Sustain. You don't need this if you have good Mana Sustain. And Cannibalism. This is going to help you sustain while you're mapping. This one has been the most integral. I hardly ever use Flask when I'm killing mobs. Only whenever I'm killing bosses. And this is for bossing, this is for mobbing. Having them both in is just for utility. But yeah, that's what I use. And then we're going to be using Oil Grenade. All this does is it's going to put a area of oil down, and this is going to inflict fire exposure. So as you can see, it has pretty good coverage. And then this can be detonated just like everything else. And then you see there I set it on fire. Ideally, the combo is pretty simple. You're gonna just do that, and then you can blow it up like that. And if you, oh wait, it didn't come out. And blow it up like that. Or if you're like facing off against a boss, I'll just do like 3 layers of this, 1 layer of that, and then just go like that. And you'll just blow up the whole screen. It just does a ton of stacking damage. This build did recently get nerfed, but you still do a ton of damage with it. And that's just pretty much the combo. Just keep doing that and just layer it. You just blow everything up and just, it's just super, super, super nice. Good damage, good AoE, everything. Oh, we put encumbrance on this. This is going to just make them a little bit slower because like when you're facing off against enemies, a lot of times the situation is you're kind of running. So you're going to shoot it in front of you, shoot that there, throw that, boom, boom, boom. And then everything behind you chasing you would just die. And that's kind of basically what you're doing. Just shooting it in front of you. And then just keep going, boom, 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 everything dies behind you. And this encumbrance kind of helps because it makes it so it's hard for them to like continue to run. We're also using magnified effect on this. You can kind of maneuver this one around if you're if you have other things, like if you don't have an extra magnified effect, because I think magnified effect is kind of important on your gas so it can spread easier. But if you're a witch hunter, just take something out and then use this, you know, use something else like cooldown and stuff. Ingenuity works here really well. Our major stun is going to be flash grenade. We're going to just use this to help stun enemies, and you'll probably see in some of the footage when I'm facing off against bosses or I need some type of defense. This is just going to help out. In this, I put overpower. I put a second overpower because from what I can tell, it stacks pretty well. Then I put unbreakable. If I get another link, I'm going to put another unbreakable here. And this thing just makes everything stun. Like when I'm in a boss fight, I stun things like 6-7 times fairly easy if it takes that long to kill them. By the end of the act, I got attrition. I don't have the spirit to hold it up. As you can see, I have 25 spirit. If you can afford to, you know, cover the spirit with attrition, use it. But you're probably going to have to wait until a later game or take some of this stuff out. I just felt like the vitality and the clarity was too important to take out. You can take it out. I'm just being a little baby about it. But attrition will help you. And this is just culling strike. It's just going to make it so you can cull enemies. And this is really good against unique bosses. The last addition is going to be Leap Slam with martial tempo, and this is just going to let you pull out a shield and leap. As you can see here, it's just really nice, so you don't die or don't get stuck, because this game has a problem with wanting to kill you getting stuck. So just make sure you have a mace in your second hand, just any crappy mace, it doesn't matter, any crappy shield. The reason why you want a mace, one-handed mace, is because the attack speed of a one-handed mace is faster than the attack speed of a two-handed mace. And what that means is you'll be able to get the move off because this is considered an attack, for those of you who are not familiar with how it works. Passive tree, I'm going to just go over it and add things in terms of nuance. So we went all projectile damage on the right, came over here and got this armor in the stun threshold, battle hardened, kept the move speed, the attack speed, and then we got the devastation for the area effect and area damage. I don't like these area of effect nodes, so that's why I went with devastation here. From here, we grab this life regeneration because it's just good for sustain, and then we grab the cooldown recovery, and you'll notice in this build we have a lot of cooldown recovery, and that's for a reason. We want to be able to keep spamming this. Coming down here, I overlooked this last time I went by here. Technically, a crossbow is a two-handed weapon, so grabbing all this will give you benefits. Do not pick up curved weapon because this gives accuracy, and you have 100% accuracy with the grenades when they blow up near someone, so you don't need accuracy on this build, which is kind of nice. So make sure you grab that colossal weapon. Grab the int, grab some things down here. Over here, you want to grab everything related here because this is grenade-focused stuff. There's not many grenade things on the tree, so you have to grab this. I came down here and grabbed this move speed and attack speed because, again, there's not a lot of these things on the tree, so you want to grab them. This gem I put here is just whatever I can find. It has flask and evasion stuff, which is actually pretty decent. And then right here, we grabbed all the grenade stuff for reduced fuse time, sorry. And this one increases the fuse duration, so you'll have a 25% increase, but it's fine because it gives you more grenades and it gives you more projectiles and more cooldown, so it's like really, really nice to spam. We made our way down here, and we put this one here for evasion because that's what we had. And we made sure to grab this first because repeating explosive is really nice. 1 in 7 will blow up again, and this is really good for damage uptime, and it's really low cost in investment. over here, I don't know why I have points over here. Don't put points here. I need to take that point out. I grabbed this later. I wouldn't grab this first. I just needed the attributes. But you want to make sure you grab this area of effect and cooldown. And you want to grab this area damage and armor break, because it works really well with the future build, because you're going to end up doing armor explosion, and that's going to give you fire damage. You'll notice that we lean very heavy into fire, so we're going to grab this fire pin here. And this fire pin, I don't grab any of the ignite stuff. You can grab that if you want, but I want to use my points a little more sparingly. But this is going to be, you'll be pretty much done with the axe at this point. You know, you'll just have all this at the end of the act. You can split it off a little bit if you need the attributes, because I went with armor on my chest is why I needed this, and I needed the strength. But this is the passive tree, and it should be pretty damn good. For the Ascendancy itself, you're going to be getting reduced attribute requirements, integrated efficiency. I don't use this many gems, but you kind of need to grab it. More reduced attributes, and then you're going to get gem studded so you can use the supports. For the Witch Hunter, I would probably just go Culling Strike stuff. Culling Strike and what's the other thing called? Decimating Strike. I would probably go with that stuff because it seems really good. And you'll probably get very similar effect, maybe even more damage. Who knows? I know that class does pretty bonkers damage. But I didn't play it, so take that with a grain of salt. Finally, finishing this video off, we're going to go over the gear, and then I'll have some stuff in the Mobalytics guide with more optimal focus gear. But anyway, let's go over the gear. So we have a full-bodied ultimate flask. We went with increased accuracy and recovery. For the mana flask, kind of the same thing. You get more amount recovered and then more increased flask charges. So whatever you want there. For our gloves, we went with something with armor evasion. Ideally, this build will be full armor evasion in the future, so expect that. We just went with whatever had life on it, and this is the best gloves we have. I to be honest, I wasn't really putting a ton of effort into the gear. I was just using enough gear to get by. Most things that are important are the crossbow. Like, that's the only thing that's super important. You just kind of want to stay alive, right? For the belt, we have some resistances in life. I know I always say this in every video, but I super highly value life because it makes it so I don't die. I have 1649 right outside of Axe. I'm just starting to do mapping right now. And I have probably comparable life to most melee warriors. I like life because I don't like dying. So yeah, life. For our chest, we found this bad boy. It's a full plate. We full quality'd it. It had 99 life, some cold resistances, stun, armor. And then we put a body rune as well as an iron rune in this. 786 armor makes it very hard for you to die because you have pretty solid fizz resistance, as you can see. 41, which is not bad, and some decent resistances across the board. We're eating really good. This is only because I'm in lower axe, by the way, but when you're in like normal axe, you'll be about 0 on everything at the very least, and then some things will be like 20 to 40 with what I have now. For our helmet, I just found this random helmet that had a ton of life on it and resistances. For our necklace, has life and mana recovery. That's what's important here. Actually, it doesn't have mana recovery, but you should have mana recovery. This had mana though, so it kind of works out. What else do we have here? I found these boots, but I use these boots for the vast majority of this. I use this like in the very last act, in the very last area, pretty much. But anyway, cold resistance, armor, life, same old. These boots have life on these if you have them. And move speed, I would ideally prioritize move speed though. Move speed and life. Going over the rings, if I'm being honest, I just keep a plethora of different rings and I swap them out depending on the boss that I'm playing. As you can see here, I just have a bunch of different rings with different resistances, and that's just kind of how I do it. Right now, what I have here is a all resistance, lightning resistance, and this one is lightning resistance, fire resistance. Again, I just kind of build it depending on the boss I'm facing off against, so that's how we do it. Finally, for our crossbow, this is not my crossbow. That's the one I was showing you guys. This is my crossbow. We're using a advanced sturdy crossbow, but ideally you want a bombard crossbow. As you can see, I'm saving them up and crafting on them. But yeah, you want a bombard crossbow. If you want to know how I crafted this one, it's pretty simple. Every time I saw a bow, I just picked it up, came over here, hit it with a transmute, or you can hit it with an essence. Do I have an essence? I can just show you an example, I guess. No, I'll just do what you probably will do. Just hit it with a transmute, and if it gained anything like garbage like this, I just throw the damn bow away. but like added fizz is decent, I guess. But it's a tier 5 added fizz. That's actually a really decent added fizz there. And then you could, in theory, like regal this. Hope it gets something. And then maybe Exalt Slam, but only if it gets something good. So if this, what you ideally want on your bow, and we'll just hover over mine, you want increased fizz. Ideally, you'll look for a hybrid increased fizz accuracy. And then you'll hopefully slam fizz on it and get increased fizz or added fizz. And then Exalt Slam and do whatever you want. You don't care about the accuracy, but you want the hybrid accuracy fizz because you can roll increased fizz with it. And as you can see here, looking at it, it can stack the increased fizz as well as the accuracy hybrid fizz together and get more physical damage on it. That's kind of the purpose of that. Hopefully that doesn't go over you guys' head. But yeah, that's how you do it. But yeah, that's how you build it. That's all the gear. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I'm always here to help. Check out the build guide on Mobalytics for more in-depth, and that's pretty much it for the video. And there you have it, guys. That is my leveling, full-fledged leveling build for the Mercenary, Gemlin, Legionnaire, pretty much any of those ascendancies. You'll be able to blaze a trail through the entire campaign, and it'll be fairly easy. You have your moments where it can be a little tough, but for the most part, you'll just decimate majority of the content. It's going to be very much built around your bow, but yeah, it's a very solid build and it works really well. Just keep in mind, I will have more builds in the future as I transition later into the end game. So just make sure you're notified and keeping on track of the channel. Huge thank you guys for stopping by, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video very soon.